Boom. There it is, guys. It is Friday, May 23rd, and it finally happened. The two faces of Washington, D.C. corruption, a disgraced FBI director, and of course, a radical Democrat Congresswoman just got hit with what they never saw coming. And this time, guys, it's no spinning it. You got James Comey. He just triggered a federal firestorm after posting this cryptic shell message. This one was tied to a violent code used by Antifa. Now, he claims it was an accident. Do you guys buy that? You think it was an accident? Let me know, guys. But top prosecutors, they're already calling his bluff. And what he did while the president was overseas could end up landing him behind bars. And y'all let me know if you think he needs to be in prison for this. Meanwhile, in Newark, New Jersey, you got a Democrat lawmaker who just got caught on video shoving ICE agents, sparking chaos at a federal facility. And now she's officially facing federal charges. This isn't a protest. This is an assault on law and order itself. Now, you let me know if you think that this Democratic lawmaker needs to be thrown in jail right next to James Comey as well. If you haven't already, take a second, hit the like button, show your support. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as well. And the best part, guys, President Trump responded immediately, slamming both James Comey and the Congresswoman in a way that no one saw coming, because he wasn't the only one. Kash Patel just made a surprise announcement that shuts down the deep state in Washington, D.C., literally. So what does 8647 really mean? Anybody know? Let me know in the comments down below. What does the 8647 mean? Now, what shocking detail did the investigators find on James Comey's history that could seal his fate? Oh, we're going to talk about that. And how is Trump using the ICE facility meltdown to expose the entire game that Democrats have been playing? Well, guys, you're not going to believe how it all ties together. And trust me, guys, this story explodes in the second half, because what I'm about to share with you guys could mark the end of political immunity for good. So let's go get started with this whole political earthquake. Congresswoman Monica MacGyver, not MacGyver like the that old school TV show back in the 90s. If you guys remember that creative guy, comment down below. Put a 1 in the comment down below if you guys remember that show MacGyver. Anyway, it all started outside the Delaney Hall ICE Detention Center in Newark, New Jersey. Cameras were rolling, and what they captured was not oversight. It was chaos. Eyewitnesses and body cam footage now confirm what many people already suspected. Representative MacGyver didn't just show up unannounced. She physically shoved ICE agents, raised her forearms aggressively, and interfered with the attempted arrest of Newark Mayor Ras Baraka. Now, let me ask you guys real quick, if it was me or you doing this kind of nonsense, would we be in jail? So this wasn't just some peaceful check-in. This was clearly a meltdown at the federal facility. Federal agents, they're saying that she escalated the confrontation herself, not by mistake, but by choice. So here's the kicker, though. This wasn't some camera trick or some media manipulation. Body cam footage is showing her bulldozing through security, arms up, refusing to back down. You got ICE agents trained to read body language. They knew what was coming, and this time they caught it all on tape. But if you think that's insane, just wait until you see the list of charges that she's now facing. Now, guys, I hope you're ready to dive into the federal charges and how she's trying to now spin this into some kind of a political intimidation. You guys, this is unbelievable, guys. Anyway, so check this out. What happened next is really it's gonna leave your jaw on the floor. So you got federal prosecutors dropping the hammer. Congresswoman MacGyver has now been formally charged with multiple federal crimes, including assaulting a federal officer, interfering with law enforcement, and criminal trespassing at a restricted government facility. Now, here's what really kind of sets this apart. This is one of the first times in modern history that a sitting U.S. lawmaker is facing charges for physically interfering with a federal arrest, all while claiming the moral high ground. And how is she defending herself? Of course, by trying to flip the narrative. So she's now blaming ICE and Homeland Security, saying that they escalated the situation. Do you guys believe this woman? In her words, we were just there doing our job. This is political intimidation. But let's get real, guys. If doing your job involves throwing elbows, dropping them bows at ICE officers and blocking the arrest of a mayor, then what exactly is your definition of public service? She's not denying wrongdoing. She's trying to turn this into a civil rights crusade, essentially. And guess what, guys? That's exactly the same tactic that we're seeing from Comey. 2 scandals, 2 power players, 1 broken playbook, blame the system, deny everything. And the pressure? Oh, it's not just on her, because Democratic leadership is now panicking, guys. Hakeem Jeffries, he draws the line. Swalwell makes a dangerous vow, and all of a sudden, every ICE facility in America becomes a political powder keg. So these are essentially the kind of wins that make it all worth it, if you ask me. Leslie Taylor, she saved $1,000 a year after switching plans with Chapter. Sharon Brutesk, she just dropped from Medicaid. She got screwed over, unfortunately. She got dropped from Medicaid, but Chapter stepped in and they found her a brand new Medicare plan with 0 premiums, 0 medication costs, and copays down to just $20 from $89. Unbelievable turnaround. Unbelievable, amazing good news story. I mean, we need that on a Friday, right? Can I get a happy Friday in the comments down below, guys? Now, if it worked for them, why wouldn't it work for you? If you're about to be 65 years old, if you know someone who's about to be 65 years old, give Chapter a call right now. Chapter checks every plan. They help you to save, and they make sure to never charge you a fee. It's totally free for their service. So hit them up on the web at askchapter.org/Ron, or you can give them a call right now if you prefer to do it old school. You want to talk to someone on the phone, that's cool too. You can reach them at 909-563-8279. Guys, your win could literally be 1 phone call away. I want to hear your story too. Let me know in the comments how much money Chapter was able to save you. Now, here's where things really heat up, okay? So with the footage circulating and the charges already confirmed, Democratic leadership didn't call for accountability. What they did was they doubled down. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, he called the arrest of basically any Democratic lawmaker a red line. So apparently Hakeem Jeffries thinks that Dems are above the law. Is that fair, guys? Now, not just a red line for misconduct, not a red line for violence against federal agents, a red line for being held accountable. And that's not all. Eric Swalwell, yes, that Eric Swalwell vowed there would never be more unannounced ICE visits from Democratic representatives. Now, you heard that right, guys. They're planning more confrontations, more stunts, more chaos. And when the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Ras Baraka, was arrested during the same clash, but later had his charges dropped, MacGyver's defenders screamed selective prosecution. But here's the big difference. The mayor didn't shove a federal officer. MacGyver did. This is an oversight. This is not a protest. This is political theater masquerading as lawmaking. And while all of this unfolds, guess who was quietly igniting his own firestorm from the beach? Well, that's right. That's good old James Comey, guys. Yep. A cryptic post, a violent code, and a mistake that even Comey couldn't explain away. So, what exactly does 8647 really mean? And why did he delete it so fast? So while Democrat leadership was circling the wagons around Representative MacGyver, James Comey was busy lighting a match of his own on social media. From the beach, literally. James Comey posted a photo of himself lounging by the ocean. And right next to it, it was a photo of seashells arranged in the numbers 8647. Now, of course, at first glance, you might think nothing of it. But if you know anything about extremist protest codes, you know for a fact 86 means to eliminate. And 47, anybody know what 47 means? Well, 47 refers to the 47th president, and that happens to be Donald J. Trump. So that sequence of 8647 or 8647 has been used by radical Antifa-linked activists as a coded reference to assassination. And Comey, a former FBI director with nothing short of 30 years of intel and domestic threat analysis experience, he claims he didn't know what it meant. Let that sink in. Anybody buying Comey's BS? I'm not. Almost immediately, Comey deleted the post and said, look, hey, guys, I didn't realize some folks associated those numbers with violence. I oppose violence of any kind. Sure, Jim, nobody's buying your bull. Here's the problem. You didn't delete the beach photo. You deleted the number. And federal investigators, they noticed that. Critics across law enforcement and legal circles, they're all calling this an open incitement risk, if not worse. Now, some people are saying it's a veiled threat. Others are saying it's a perjury trap waiting to spring. Because if Comey testifies that he did not know, and it turns out that he did, boom, criminal liability, folks. And according to former DOJ officials, he did know. But here's where things spiral very quickly. We need to dig into what happened. Like, what exactly did these top federal prosecutors now prepare for? Like, how is Trump responding on record, and how this one mistake may finally bring James Comey to justice? So what happens next for James Comey? Well, according to Associate Deputy Attorney General Ed Martin, the clock is ticking, and Comey is walking straight into a legal minefield. So Martin, he explained that there's a long documented history of law enforcement recognizing 8647 as a coded threat. And James Comey, who spent decades in federal intelligence, he would have absolutely known that. There's no way he wouldn't know. In other words, his I don't know excuse could trigger a perjury investigation. So here's the trap. He either tells the truth and admits it was a veiled threat, or he lies to federal agents, which is a felony in and of itself. Either way, he's going to jail one way or the other. And let's not forget, James Comey's entire public career since being fired has been built around getting Trump arrested. He's been on CNN, MSNBC, writing articles, selling books, and mocking the idea that Trump could ever walk free. Now, he's the one under federal scrutiny, and Trump did not hold back. In a rare on-camera statement, Trump said what everyone else was thinking. James Comey knew exactly what he meant. A child knows what that meant. And if you're the FBI director and you don't know what 8647 means, you're either lying or you're incompetent or both. But then came the true gut punch. He's a dirty cop. If his record was clean, maybe there'd be some leniency, but there's not. He's got a history, and this is who he is. So he's not asking for mercy. He's actually calling for consequences for James Comey. And for the first time in years, James Comey may actually face them. But of course, here's the kicker. He's not the only one that's facing a reckoning. The Secret Service weighs in. DOJ insiders dropped the hammer, and a massive shakeup inside the FBI is already underway. And it's being led by someone who no one expected. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more insane, the Secret Service stepped in. So insiders confirmed the agency is now actively reviewing James Comey's post for potential threats to the president's life. Let's be clear, guys. This is not Twitter outrage. This is a former FBI director possibly under investigation by the Secret Service for incitement or coded communication that could very well constitute a national security risk. Meanwhile, you got former agents, federal prosecutors, and intelligence analysts. They're all piling into this thing. One ex-agent said flat out, "This guy's been a problem since day one. It's time for the clown show to end." And while the old guard falls apart, a new sheriff just made his move. FBI Director Kash Patel. Yes, the same Kash Patel who promised to tear the deep state apart brick by brick just announced the Hoover building is being shut down. That's right, guys. The FBI's DC headquarters is being closed, and the DC Hoover building is being turned into a museum of government abuse. Now, according to Kash Patel, the building's unsafe. The swamp lives here. So we're pulling agents out of DC and deploying them across the country where real crime happens. Over 1,500 agents are being reassigned. Field offices in every state will be strengthened. The era of DC power hoarding is being dismantled in real time, guys. He didn't just talk about draining the swamp. He is bulldozing the foundation. But why now? I think it's because the American people are watching. And scandals like MacGyver's assault, Comey's coded post, they're not just bad headlines. They're symptoms of a system that's been unaccountable for far too long. But we're not done. In fact, the pattern of Democrat lawlessness, the media silence, and why Trump's recent actions in the Middle East have been essentially the final checkmate move that no one saw coming. So we need to step back for a second. We need to look at this pattern, because this isn't just about MacGyver assaulting ICE agents. It's not even about James Comey posting coded messages. This is a part of a wider, dangerous trend, a Democratic establishment that believes that it is above the law. I mean, we've seen it already before, right? Kamala Harris, while still a senator, compared ICE to the KKK. Van Hollen called ICE agents abductors. And now Governor Tim Walz is calling Trump's immigration enforcement Gestapo tactics at a commencement speech, no less. Let that sink in. Elected officials comparing federal law enforcement to Nazi death squads, while at the same time they're physically interfering with arrests and defending those who do. And the public is fed up. There's outrage across social media, protests from law enforcement groups, viral interviews blasting the complete erosion of accountability. Many people are saying right now, if a Republican did even half of what MacGyver or Comey did, they'd be behind bars already. And that's why you're seeing this tectonic shift inside the FBI. That's why Trump's base is even more energized than ever. Because for the first time in years, it looks like there may finally be some real consequences for deep state actors and these power-hungry politicians. But here's where it all comes full circle, guys. While all of this chaos has been happening, Trump wasn't in D.C. or in Florida. He was overseas. He wasn't just playing golf. Trump's secret meetings with the Saudis and the Qataris, the $4 trillion in U.S. investment, and petrodollar 2.0 plan that could economically cripple China and the globalist agenda in one single move. So while James Comey was fumbling on a beach and Representative MacGyver was throwing elbows at federal agents, Donald J. Trump was doing what no other president has pulled off in modern history. He was locking in over $4 trillion in foreign investment into the United States from some of the most powerful nations in the Middle East. I'm talking meetings with Qataris, sit downs with the Saudis, quiet coordination with the new leadership in Syria. And here's the real story the media will not touch. Trump isn't just rebuilding alliances. He's laying the foundation for petrodollar 2.0. Let me explain this, guys. For decades, the U.S. dollar held its power because of an unwritten oil deal with Saudi Arabia. This is a deal that ensured that oil was only sold in U.S. dollars, keeping our currency strong and dominant globally. But under Biden, that deal fell apart. The Saudis started selling oil in yuans to China, rubles to Russia. This is a complete betrayal of American leverage. But now, Trump is back at the table. And insiders are saying that he's in the final stages of rebuilding a new petrodollar agreement. This is one that could isolate China, It could force them to the negotiating table and rebuild America's economic supremacy from the ground up. Now, if China can't get those dollars and Trump reinstates those 145% reciprocal tariffs, checkmate, boom. They'll have no choice but to bow to U.S. trade terms or be completely cut off. So, while the left was busy attacking ICE and posting coded assassination threats, Trump may have just secured the most powerful financial weapon in the next decade. And the best part, he did it quietly, deliberately, without missiles, bullets, guns, and with America, not globalists, as the beneficiary. So let's recap, shall we? A sitting Democrat Congresswoman assaulting ICE agents, now facing federal charges. A disgraced FBI director under Secret Service review after posting a violent code. The deep state's headquarters being shut down by Kash Patel. And let's not forget President Donald Trump preparing to cripple our enemies and rebuild American dominance in one brilliant move. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just politics. This is a war for the soul of the country. And finally, people are being held accountable. So if you're tired of all the cover-ups, if you believe in law and order, and if you want to see this country restored, share your support. Hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Give our friends at Chapter a call. Link in the description down below this video. And we're not done. We're just getting started. We'll see you next time. Happy Friday.